says, Shimmy says, Shimmy, Shimmy, Shimmy says, ask me almost anything.
Hey everyone, it's Alan Schimmel, and you're watching another episode of Shimmy Says. Well, it's been a busy couple of weeks here for me. I was out in San Francisco at one of my favorite conferences of the year, the RSAC conference, biggest cybersecurity conference in the world. And I will tell you that, the big story at RSAC this year was, as it's been at every other conference we've gone to, AI. But a particular kind of AI for this year, and that is Agentic AI. So the idea that we're not just going to ask a chatbot to dazzle us with some brilliance of what it can put together, but really to have an agent, an AI agent, go out and perform a task for us. And that's what we mean by Agentic AI. That was the theme at RSA. It was also the theme this year for many, many companies, right? To me, it was really Salesforce that kind of kicked this off, and you got to give them credit for, first bringing this out. Mark Benioff, talked about Salesforce having thousands and thousands of agents out there that, that you can control with Salesforce. But just this past week, we saw IBM put together, they're announcing they've put together a whole ecosystem of partners, and IBM has plenty of partners whose agents will be able to be controlled via IBM. The ServiceNow user conference, I think it's Knowledge. ServiceNow is out in Vegas, I believe, and they announced like a control tower for agents. All of these point to a very specific kind of future for agents. You're not going to have an agent. You're not going to have Hobbs or some personal attendant, and that's your agent who does everything. No, virtually every task you want done is going to have its own agent, it seems. Some of these agents may be rather ephemeral, where they do their one task and they disappear, they're deleted. Other agents may be reoccurring. But I think the general consensus is that we're going to have literally an army of agents that perform all these different kinds of tasks for us. Each agent is not going to be a Swiss Army knife. Each agent will have a unique task that it does. It's kind of like, in me, it evokes a vision of the Clone Wars from Star Wars. Remember the army of the clones and the droids. And if that is the future we're looking at, what does that mean? Well, I think if you listen to ServiceNow, if you listen to Salesforce, if you listen to IBM, we're going to need some sort of orchestrator or some sort of manager of agents, which may itself be an agent. Who knows? It's an agent to manage your agents, or it's some sort of application that is your agent manager. And I think that the contenders are already lining up to be this manager of your agents. Because I don't think you're going to want to have multiple agent managers. It's bad enough we're going to have all these agents. I think you probably want as few agent managers as you can. And why are all these big companies lining up to be your agent manager? Well, to me, this is akin to the cloud native world, where, I think quickly or early on, people realized that what Solomon Hykes and the Docker team had done with containers was going to fundamentally change the architecture of how our applications are run, right? A containerized architecture. But being in a containerized architecture means that you're going to have multiple containers, dozens, hundreds or more containers per application, right? And so you needed something that was going to orchestrate or manage those containers. Kubernetes, right? And Kubernetes, if you would have asked early on what was going to be the big container orchestrator, the big container manager, people probably would have said something like Docker Swarm, maybe Rancher. But no, the open source product that Google first called the Borg, right, and renamed Kubernetes, came out and has dominated ever since, and is really, look, it's the linchpin of the whole cloud native world. I think we're looking at a similar type of scenario with agents. Whoever develops what becomes the de facto standard for agent management will dominate, right? Because I think every company will have an agent, multiple agents. As I said, most of these agents will be single-use, single-purpose agents. But the company that allows you to manage them, the company that orchestrates them, the company that directs them, is going to be a vital company in your pantheon of tools, of IT tools. So it's no wonder that companies like ServiceNow and IBM and Salesforce, and you'll see Microsoft in there and maybe Apple and others, are all already vying to be your agent manager, when quite frankly, as we stand here right now, and again, something I noticed at RSA, right now, it's a lot to do about nothing. How many of us are truly, truly using agentic AI or AI-empowered agents to get tasks done? And I saw a study at RSA. They said something like, well, within 2 years, 75% of organizations will be using AI-empowered agents. Maybe, but how many will they be using? Will they be really useful? Not that I'm poo-pooing that agents won't be useful, agentic AI, but I just think it's going to take time for us to use them, trust them, and then we'll worry about managing armies of agents. Until then, though, much like Star Wars, a good Jedi Knight's worth an army of clones. So I don't know if we're ready for the agentic AI. These agentic AI agents may not be the agents you're looking for right now. Anyway, that's it on Shimmy Says this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next week. We're watching what's going on. In the meantime, catch us on TechStrong TV, TechStrong Gang. Hey, if you're watching on TV, by the way, we've got a new OTT app for iPhones, Google, Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. TechStrong TV. You can catch this on here too, as well as the rest of our video content. Until next week, though, this is Alan Schimmel. This is another Shimmy Says.
Shimmy says, shimmy says, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy says, ask me almost anything.